Didn't think I could get my voice that high. That's not a new t-shirt. I don't know what is. I have to make myself a new t-shirt. I'm talking to nobody. Unreal. Nobody watching. We need to fix that. There's one person watching. There's one person watching. Okay. With 1 like. Fine. Fair enough. But that's not enough. That is not enough. We need more people. We got 3 people. Okay, that's a decent amount. Still not enough. But we are going to promote. We're going to go promote. We're going to post this. We are posting. We are posting. And we are advertising. Here we go. Hey, Cool King. How you doing, Rob? How's everything been? How is everything, my friend? No, that's not what I want to do. Here we go. We are just going to share this out. We're going to share it out. Sharing out the stream on the usual platforms. Come on. Post. Come on. Sharing it out on the usual platforms. So far, Rob's only made... Hey, Danielle! Danielle, I'm surprised you didn't enter with a dab. I'm not dabbing today. No dab today. I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanksgiving was actually really good. I had a lot of great food. You know, some turkey, some honey glazed ham, some sausage stuffing, some sausage bread. I also had some mashed potatoes. So, the works. The works. The good stuff. I had the good stuff. I had the works. So we're going to share the stream out on Twitter, and I'm going to send it to as many people as I possibly can, because we got a lot to discuss here. Why is there only 3 people in here? Unbelievable. Why do I only see 1 like? That's what I don't understand. I only see 1 like, and yet there's 3 people in here. What is this blasphemy? There we go. There we go. Hey, Jess! I had a feeling you would show up. Looks like you're here from the start. I am fairly full. I actually had some steak and potato soup for lunch. Danielle's here. All she did was a wave. No dabbing today, though. But we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to discuss. We got a lot to talk about. Oh yeah, I've been feeling great. I'm feeling great. College is finally over. College is finally over. I can finally relax. I'll be doing a lot of good stuff. We're doing a lot of good stuff for the holiday season. Thanksgiving was great. Got to see my cousins. Got to see my grandmother. Great stuff right there. But now it is back to business as usual. It is back to business as usual here on the brand. Back to business as usual on the channel. How was your Thanksgiving? What kind of Thanksgiving festivities did you take part in? What kind of Thanksgiving foods did you eat? Got only 3 people in here. I guess it's an after the holiday. It's an after the holiday stream, so not many people are as active. It's an after the holiday stream, so everyone's being lame. Everyone's being lame. Come on, no. Sharing it out to a few more people, and then we'll get started. What's going on over here? We got the chat rolling? Yeah. The chat's still rolling. Still only 3 people in here? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Share it out to a few more people. Out to a few more people. Leo. I have a feeling Leo will come in here at some point. Got to do the normal brand advertisements before we eventually start. Blah, 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 blah. No. Come on. Come on, more and more people should be getting in here. God, everybody's just... Everyone's just being party poopers now. It is blasphemous. It is so damn blasphemous. Well, I got a couple people sharing me out. Of course it's Danielle. Of course it's Danielle retweeting my tweets. Of course, it's Danielle retweeting my tweets. Because she hasn't said anything in a while. I think she's lurking. Status update. Danielle is lurking. No, that's not what I want to do. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Hang on a minute. Cameron Johnson. I gotta put it in for Cameron Johnson as well. I'll probably have Adam jump in here at some point. Maybe Nick Fury. Nicholas Fury. I gotta put him in there. I'll share it out to Nick Man. Nick Man's been a supporter of mine since like day one. Alright, that's enough for now. That's enough for now. We're gonna go to the chat. We're going to go to the chat. All right. I think now we can get the stream started. Now I think we can get the stream started. So. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle for it to mankind. Oh yeah. This is the official Lightning Flash update for November 28th, 2020. We are a couple days removed from Thanksgiving, and Peanuts has joined, aka David has joined. I think we'll all just call you Peanuts from here on out. It's cooler that way. So, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you did not slip into too many food comas on Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving myself. Lots of good food, lots of relaxation. Finally done with my college semester, so I can rejoice over that. And we are back to business as usual. We're back to brand business here on the channel on a Saturday. What's going on, Smoky Salmon? Please hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up when you come in. Not too many news and rumors to talk about, but we got a lot of weekly show material to dissect as we head into December of 2020, the final month of 2020. I know a lot of people are looking for a reset. Trust me, we all know that not everything's just going to go back to normal on January 1st, but a reset is definitely needed. We got a lot of material to dissect here. We got a lot of material to go over, and we are going to start in just a little bit. But first things first, we got to go through the normal brand advertisements. Of course, you already know what I'm talking about. So first things first, if you haven't already done so, you got to follow me on the Twitter sticks, which Danielle is already following me on. Follow me on the Twitter sticks at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. So please follow me there. Follow me on Instagram and Periscope at the DJ Storms. I'm thinking about doing some more Periscope streams. Thinking about being a little bit more active on Periscope, especially since I'm not going to have any college work to do for the next 2 months. So please, please, please follow me on Periscope as well. Add me on Facebook. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook. That is, all the links will be posted in the description after the stream is over. We're going long. We're going long today. Trust me on that. Of course. The rewind for Survivor Series 2020, that did excellent. I believe that's over 120 views. I believe that's almost at 40 likes, so you guys did really well there. I am actually very, very pleased to see that the rewind for Survivor Series did very well there. I would have liked a little bit more views, would have liked to get to 200 views, but it's alright. If you missed it, the link's in the description, so please go check that out. Please leave a like if you missed it. Please, please, please go check it out, and you'll see and hear my thoughts and details on the entirety of the Survivor Series pay-per-view, which I actually saw as a fairly good pay-per-view. Of course, WWE did not follow up very well as far as the weekly shows, specifically Raw and SmackDown, and even NXT. We'll talk about NXT later on, but if you missed the rewind for Survivor Series, please go check that out. If you guys haven't already done so, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, hit the thumbs up. Come on. I got goals I want to reach. I want to expand. When you hit that thumbs up, we already have 6 thumbs up. We need to get to at least 25 thumbs up. When you hit the thumbs up, here's what I also need you to do. I also need you to share the stream out on all platforms of social media, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Tumblr, whether it be Pinterest, whether it be YouTube itself. I don't care what you do. You got to share out the stream because we want to expand and we want to grow. We want to get DJ Storms into the eyes of many other people. We want to get millions of viewers. Just like the primetime players had millions of dollars, but now Titus O'Neil, he's stuck losing to Bobby Lashley in 20 seconds. Regardless of that, we want to expand into the eyes of millions of people, so I need you to share out the stream on all platforms of social media, and also when you share out the stream, keep the conversation going, say whatever the hell you want in the chat. Nothing is off limits here. That's why I am on YouTube, because I'm a guy that's always off the rails, so the chat needs to be off the rails. So please, keep the chat rolling, and when you do keep the chat rolling, be sure you hit that subscribe button, because I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to expand. It's the same shit as the likes, it's the same shit as the views, it's the same shit as sharing the stream on all platforms of social media. It's all about growth and expansion. And when you hit that subscribe button, you gotta make sure you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination. This beautiful mustache right here. 1 second. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms, but no. Danielle, you are not starting a dab train again. You are not I'll tell you what. I'm not going to dab, but if everyone sticks around till the end, I will sing a DJ Storms original Christmas song. Now, I've done a couple of them in the past. But this time I got a new one. So, I will sing a DJ Storms original Christmas song at the end of the stream. But everyone has to stick around if you want to hear it. But anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. We're going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. Not many news, rumors, and reports to talk about this week. I figured there would be a lot more coming out of the Survivor Series, but not too much. Obviously, the first report is concerning Seth Rollins. So according to a report from Ringside News, Seth Rollins is reportedly only supposed to be out of action for 4 to 6 weeks. Now, for those of you who do not know why, that is obviously because Seth Rollins is going to be expecting a kid. Obviously, him and Becky Lynch are expecting their child to be due in September. So obviously, we got a lot of interesting scenarios with good old Colby Lopez, good old Seth Rollins. I'm not sure many people really care. I mean, I don't really care how long Seth Rollins is out. All I care about is whether or not we get good television on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays as far as professional wrestling goes. Now, Seth Rollins, he is slated to be out for the entire month of December, I believe, and probably a week or two in January, if that's the case. Seth Rollins and his status right now, especially leading into WrestleMania, it's going to be a big question mark. You're not going to do someone like Kevin Owens. You're not going to do someone like Mysterio. We've already seen that. You're not going to do somebody like Daniel Bryan, because Daniel Bryan, he's headed towards a match with Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. I don't think Seth Rollins is even going to do Roman Reigns in the Universal Championship. I don't understand why would you. Maybe you could do Seth Rollins versus Big E at WrestleMania. I definitely wouldn't mind that, but ultimately, I'm not sure how much that would help Big E. I mean, it could. It could help Big E if done correctly, if properly booked, and you could build Big E up over the course of the early spring into the summer to eventually take the Universal title off of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam of 2021. That is a possibility. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But Seth Rollins, he is slated to miss 4 to 6 weeks, a little bit over a month of action due to the birth of his child. Congratulations, Mr. Rollins and Miss Lynch from DJ Storms. The next report I got really pissed me the fuck off, and it will probably piss a lot of people off. Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that Aleister Black feels like WWE has forgotten about him. Some thought his absence could be related to his wife Zelina Vega's release. However, Meltzer noted that is not the case. So Meltzer, he stated, and I quote, he feels like he's just been forgotten about, and that was not because of Zelina Vega. It was just felt like that was already the case. He's forgotten about right now, and it doesn't look good. I know he threw a suggestion out to go to NXT, and that was turned down. End quote. I don't know how many times I can rant on Aleister Black. I really don't. I feel as though I've been doing my most ranting and my most complaining about Aleister Black for the longest time now. The majority of this year has been me complaining about Aleister Black, specifically because of the fact that WWE has not utilized him to his fullest. I mean, we can say that about fucking everyone. We could say that about Kevin Owens. We could say that about Murphy. We could say that about the Street Profits. We could literally say that about everybody. But Aleister Black, how is it that this man, he came into NXT and he was placed at the top of the card immediately? He was one of the main focal points of NXT from the moment that he showed up, putting on great matches with Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami and Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole. He went into NXT TakeOver New Orleans, won the NXT title, held it for 100 days, had a great match with Tommaso Ciampa, one of the best matches of the year with Johnny Gargano. Then, in 2019, he teamed up with Ricochet to win the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and had one of the best matches of the year with the War Raiders and Ricochet at TakeOver New York almost 2 years ago. And then he gets called up to the main roster. He was put in a closet, and they had him begging people to pick a fight with him. He had a few matches here with Cesaro and Sami Zayn. He had a few matches with Buddy Murphy. And then he was pretty much thrown into a sea full of nothing. I've stated it once and I'm going to state it 1,000 times. The man has beaten everybody. The man's beaten everybody. He's beaten Seth Rollins. He's beaten Buddy Murphy, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Eric Young, Eric Rowan, Akira Tozawa, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles. And how is it that this man has been given nothing? No tag team title opportunity, no US title opportunity, no world title opportunity. The dots aren't connecting here. How is it that you forget someone like an Aleister Black? How is it that Aleister Black had the potential to be the new Undertaker? Not as vital, not as popular as the Undertaker, but nevertheless, he was the second coming of the Undertaker. That dark, mysterious character that could connect with fans around the world, that could bring a presence, that could demand your attention. I'm not sure if it's Bruce Pritchard trying to get back at Paul Heyman because Paul Heyman wanted to push Aleister Black. I don't know. And then he was rejected when he asked to go back down to NXT. And that doesn't just have to do with Aleister Black. Aleister Black plays a part in that, but it just doesn't have to do with Aleister Black. That has to do with Vince McMahon not wanting NXT to feel more important than the main roster. Vince McMahon wants to make NXT feel like a minor league. All Vince McMahon cares about with NXT is the fact that it stays on Wednesdays to keep AEW from reaching 1 million viewers. How many times have I said it? I feel like a broken record. Everyone's that talks about situations like this feels like broken records. It is unbelievable. At this rate, if you're not going to use Aleister Black, why do you still have him signed to a contract? You need new stars, because without new stars and without fresh faces, without new feuds, new angles, and new storylines, people are going to continue to fall out of love with the product, and many people have. Look at the fucking ratings. Moving on. Here's another report. Here's another report that I don't even fucking understand why we're even talking about this. According to F4W Online, the current plan for the TLC pay-per-view is for Braun Strowman, yes, Strowman Express, Braun Strowman, to challenge Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship in the main event on Raw's side of the pay-per-view. However, I don't know how that's going to work out because you literally just suspended Braun Strowman. Kayfabe-wise, but you suspended Braun Strowman. How is that going to work out? So Braun Strowman headbutts Adam Pearce, for no reason, might I add, which we'll talk about when we get to the Raw review. Braun Strowman headbutts Adam Pearce, and magically, he gets a WWE Championship opportunity. Meanwhile, you already have a triple threat match booked for next week. How is that even going to work out? There's no disqualifications and no countouts in the triple threat. Is one person going to win and then Braun Strowman going to attack that person? Are you going to build up that match leading into Hell in a Cell and then Braun Strowman attacks that person at TLC? I said Hell in a Cell. At TLC, at this rate, who the fuck cares? TLC, Hell in a Cell, Clash of Champions, food in the fridge, I don't give a shit. You're going to build up whoever, whether it's Riddle, whether it's Lee, or whether it's Styles, to challenge Drew McIntyre at TLC. At TLC, right? And then what are you going to have Braun Strowman do? Attack them on the day of the show? And then Drew McIntyre has no fucking opponent? And then Braun Strowman magically comes out? obviously saving people like Styles and Lee and Riddle for a bigger stage, obviously that would be a better plan, so that way you can book a better match on a bigger pay-per-view. I understand that, but you really don't have anybody else but Braun Strowman? You don't have anybody else but Braun Strowman. At this rate, I don't even fucking care, because ultimately TLC, I don't expect anything from TLC. I'm actually surprised that we actually got a decent show for Survivor Series. Not that it really means anything. We've only had about like maybe 4 or 5 decent main roster pay-per-views this year alone, if we're going to be quite honest here. But Braun Strowman, he's the current plan to challenge Drew McIntyre. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not sure if Braun Strowman's going to interfere in the triple threat. I'm not sure if Braun Strowman's going to make his presence known. I'm not sure if Braun Strowman's going to attack the challenger at TLC. I don't know what's going down. I don't know what's going down. So, moving on here. This is actually an interesting report. Not that it's really going to create too much buzz, but multiple sources, including PW Insider and Cage Side Seats, actually reported that the Brian Kendrick is working as a producer for NXT. So, I'm not sure what matches he's been producing, but he's been working as a producer for NXT, and we've actually seen some pretty decent matches on NXT recently. We saw a great fucking match with Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. We saw a great NXT Women's title match at Halloween Havoc. We saw Damian Priest and Johnny Gargano put on a great match at Halloween Havoc. We have seen a lot of great matches over the course of the last few weeks, so you can imagine that the Brian Kendrick, he's really coming into his own as a producer. So I would actually like to know what matches the Brian Kendrick has actually been producing. I'm actually pretty curious. And based on the thumbnail, this is the final report that we're going to talk about. Paul Davis of WrestlingNews.co, he reported that Taker told everyone backstage, and I quote, he was done. Vince McMahon also isn't expected to ask the Phenom to return to the ring. McMahon reportedly found it difficult to let go of the character, but he realized it was time for the American Badass to finally retire. So, apparently, The Undertaker is done for real. The Undertaker is done for real. You know, we've heard this many times, but apparently they are really going forth with the Undertaker retirement, even though the retirement in itself, the 30-year celebration, was as lackluster as you can possibly get at Survivor Series. Regardless of that, I really do hope that this is the end of the road for The Undertaker. Just let him go. Let him live his life as Mark Calloway. I pray to God that once this pandemic is over and we go forth with the Saudi Arabian deal again, I swear to God, I hope to fucking Christ that we don't see the Saudi prince offer The Undertaker 10 times the amount of money that he originally paid him to do a 5-minute match with fucking Sting. I hope to fucking God not. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Really nothing all too crazy. Really nothing all too exciting here. We're going to check the chat. Let's check the chat, see what people are saying. So, Danielle promised that that's going to be the only dab that she does. Yeah, sure. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. So, Danielle apparently made Danielle laugh when I said food in the fridge. Cool King said, I don't get why they keep having Braun Strowman in the title picture, and the fact that he lost half of his opportunities. He's lost like 85% of his opportunities. Half? He's lost 85% of his opportunities, Cool King. Danielle is lurking again. Why do we only have six people in the stream? We need more. Unreal. Anyway, we are going to go to Danielle's favorite part of the stream. Danielle's favorite part of the stream is the Raw review, because I continuously rant on it, and oh my god, I'm going to be ranting on this motherfucker. Trust me on that, I'm going to be ranting on this motherfucker. So strap in. Strap in, all of yous. Monday Night Raw, I don't even know where to fucking begin. I don't even know where to fucking begin as far as Monday Night Raw. I'm going to check the chat after the Raw review. We're going to be talking about this for the next half hour. So, Adam Pearce and Team Raw kicked off the show. So Adam Pearce was going on about how Raw swept Team SmackDown at Survivor Series. He says with victory comes rewards. He says he's going to give everyone a chance to state their case as to why they should be next in line to face Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. So we had some more senseless bickering between Styles and Sheamus. Riddle says he pinned King Corbin. So does that make me King Bro? I need a scepter and I need a crown. And that WWE title will look good with my crown. So Sheamus called Riddle a dope. Riddle said Fireface wasn't his first choice for Sheamus' nickname because Fire Crotch was already taken, bro. So, after more of this senseless bickering that made me lose at least half of my fucking brain cells, Pierce says, last but not least, Braun Strowman, state your case. Braun goes, last. What do you mean, last? So, Pierce said, it's just a figure of speech, Braun. Really meant nothing by it. So, Braun, like a fucking dumbass, I don't know what the fuck Braun Strowman's reason was for getting angry. He grabbed Adam Pearce by the collar, started shaking him and screaming at him, and then he headbutted him out of nowhere, going into commercial. I don't know. I don't know what to fucking make of it. First off, this was nothing but the same exact skit that we've seen between all 5 of these men for the last 3 fucking weeks. Literally. How many times have we seen this? How many times have we seen this? And Braun Strowman, I don't know what the fuck Braun Strowman even has to be angry about. He's getting angry and he's getting butthurt over Adam Pearce saying, last but not least. What reason is there for Braun Strowman to get angry? And Braun Strowman headbutts Adam Pearce for no fucking reason. I don't know who fucking wrote this. Probably Bruce Pritchard. Probably Baboon-ass face wrote this. Braun Strowman looks like an idiot. When does Braun Strowman not look like an idiot? Matt Riddle was, he was somewhat funny here and there. No one really cared about Keith Lee. And it pains me to fucking say that nobody cares about Keith Lee. All of these individuals are great fucking wrestlers, minus Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's fucking terrible. And this is the best that you got for him. Senseless, middle school bickering. And we've seen it every single week for the last 3 weeks. We've seen it every single week, all month of November. So Adam Pearce, he was taken to the back. He had a bruise on his head. How you doing, Leo? He had a bruise on his head. And Adam Pearce said if it was up to him, Braun Strowman would be fired immediately. I hope that would have been the case. That way we wouldn't have to see him on TV anymore. So from there, we go into the New Day versus the Hurt Business again for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Yes, after the Hurt Business lost clean last week, they get another match for the Raw Tag Team titles. Hurt Business was in control before Kofi got the hot tag coming back from commercial. Cedric then knocked Kofi off the apron, and the Hurt Business won via countout. So then MVP took the microphone and he said, do you really want to win like that? Do you really want to do that? I think you should restart the match right now. So they get the match restarted, and we get a few decent back and forth moves here and there. Kofi mounted a comeback. Woods mounted a comeback. We had a DDT and Olympic Slam to Woods. Kofi then saved the match there. We had a slingshot plancha on Benjamin, and then we had a sunset flip powerbomb on Shelton Benjamin, I believe it was, by Xavier Woods, and the New Day retained the tag team titles. So let me get this straight. You have Retribution. Not that anyone gives a fuck about T-Balls and Disgrace. I don't think they were even on the show. They weren't even on the show. T-Balls and Disgrace weren't even on the show. Neither was Recoiling. Neither was Applejack. Neither was Kangaroo Jack or Mustafa Ali. They weren't on the show. So, you got Retribution. You got Miz and Morrison. You got the Lucha House Party. So instead of having the Hurt Business win matches, instead of having the Hurt Business beat the Lucha House Party or beat Miz and Morrison and gain a few wins, thus resulting in a match for the Raw Tag Team titles at TLC, you have them beat the New Day 1 week. 2 weeks later, they get another tag team title opportunity. They lose, and then they get one following the week that they lost. They win via countout, and MVP said, hey, we want a rematch. We don't want to take the win like that. Are you cowards or are you fighting champions? So we get a second match right after that, and they lose again. 3 times within 1 week. You have the Hurt Business lose to the New Day. I don't know. I'm running out of shit to say. I'm legitimately running out of shit to say because I don't want to fucking say the same thing over and over again, but it's the same fucking shit over and over again every fucking week. So now what are you going to do for TLC? You're going to have the Hurt Business beat the New Day in a non-title match again, and thus getting another match for the Raw Tag Team titles at TLC on the 20th? This was a waste of fucking time. If the Hurt Business were not going to win the tag team titles, why did you book the match? Why? It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You book the Hurt Business. You write it down in your notepad. Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party. Hurt Business wins. The following week, Hurt Business versus Miz and Morrison. Hurt Business wins. Thus, they gain wins and they get a title match at TLC. Enough with the beating of the champions and then you get a title shot. Enough of putting out the same fucking match. We've seen the same match 3 times within a month. It's an absolute waste of time. So in the back, Bobby Lashley approached Adam Pearce backstage and he said he was the only champion to come out victorious on Raw's side at Survivor Series. Then he said, we need to talk business. So then coming back from commercial, Adam Pearce was interviewed again, and then he was approached by Randy Orton, who said, we need to talk. So, after coming back from another commercial, I don't know how many fucking commercial breaks they took. So after coming back from another commercial, Pearce says, we're going to have a series of matches, 3 singles matches, and the winners of those singles matches will go on to face each other in a triple threat match next week. The winner of that match will face Drew McIntyre. I couldn't fucking say it without laughing. But that's exactly what he said. Drew McIntyre. So then he corrected himself, and he said Drew McIntyre. But if you've learned anything from Monday Night Raw, the WWE champion on Monday Night Raw is Drew McIntyre. I'm 21 years old, but I'm a juvenile at heart. I'm a juvenile at heart. So he went from Drew McIntyre to Drew McIntyre. He said the first match will consist of Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. So we get Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. And this match was undoubtedly the best thing on the show. Undoubtedly the best thing on the show. This match was excellent. This match was excellent. Excellent stuff right here. So they were hitting hard early. We had a final flash and an exploder suplex to Sheamus on the outside of the ring. We had a Broton by Riddle for a 2. Sheamus with 10 beats of the Baldrin. We then had an Irish Curse backbreaker for a 2. Sheamus went shoulder first into the post. We had big roundhouse kicks to the chest of Sheamus. We had an Alabama slam by Sheamus going into commercial. Coming back from commercial, we had an overhead kick and a PK. Then we had a springboard floating bro to the floor on Sheamus. Sheamus then went to cloverleaf. But Sheamus, he reversed it into a heel hook on Riddle, and he was working on Riddle's barefoot. Riddle fought out of it. We had a final flash knee strike on Sheamus for a 2. Sheamus with a white noise from the second rope for a very close 2 count. Riddle then collapsed when Sheamus went for a bro kick. Riddle reversed the cloverleaf into a roll-up pin, and Riddle advances to next week's triple threat match. Riddle and Sheamus, undoubtedly two of the most underappreciated workers that WWE has. Two of the best workers, actually, that the WWE has. This was an excellent match between the two. These two went 20 minutes, and they absolutely beat the ever-living shit out of each other. If you guys missed it, please go out of your way to watch this match. This was an excellent match between Matt Riddle and Sheamus. So we had the Firefly Funhouse with Wyatt and Bliss. They welcomed everyone to the Firefly Funhouse, and Wyatt said they're going to talk about something vile, evil, and disgusting, and that's friendship. So Wyatt talked about how friends will always let you down. 1 minute they're playing patty cake with you, I think he said, and the next minute they're burning your house down. So he says that friends are no good, just like Nikki Cross. And then out of nowhere we had Friendship Frog. Yes, Friendship Frog making his debut. Wyatt then whispered in Bliss's ear, and she used a mallet to destroy Friendship Frog. We then had a moment of silence for the frog. Bliss says that the frog was a fine amphibian. Wyatt said that it's a shame he croaked. So they laughed, and then they said goodbye. This was fun. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean much. Because A, I don't think that WWE even knows where they're going with this Wyatt-Bliss partnership, number one. And then number two, Wyatt really doesn't feel the same. And I don't think anyone is realistically going to care about the eventual match between Wyatt and Orton at TLC. I don't think anybody cares. So we had Asuka versus Lana. Yeah. Asuka versus Lana. So this came about when Asuka was in the back. Hold on 1 second. So Asuka was in the back, and Lana was like, no, I really don't want to challenge you. No, it's okay. But Asuka's like, hey, you know what? It's okay. I'm up for the challenge. I accept. So Asuka accepted the challenge because, hey, I can get an easy victory over Lana, and then I don't have to defend my title for another 30 days. I'm still pissed that Lana was the sole survivor. So Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler came out before the match even began. They were on commentary. Nia Jax says she's not in the mood. So Asuka out of nowhere, she poured water all over Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for no reason. They caused a DQ. Asuka was going to go through the table, but Lana saved her. Nia Jax says, "You started this. Come and finish it." Shayna says, "We're challenging you tonight." So, we get a tag team match. We had Lana and Asuka versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Oh, by the way, Lana, apparently, there's been so many people that have been coming out in support of Lana. Why? What the fuck are you supporting this woman over? Why, just because she had a chronicle before Survivor Series? Why, because she was showcased in a 2-minute clip on Twitter of her crying, of how she deals with social media trolls on a daily basis? Give me a fucking break. Listen, I have nothing personal against Lana. I have nothing against CJ Perry. I have nothing against CJ Perry personally. More likely than not, she is a kind, decent woman with no vices at all. I have nothing against CJ Perry personally. Matter of fact, I feel for her if she has to go through a lot of social media trolls. I feel for her. I do that all the time. I go through a shit ton of social media trolls. But at the end of the day, no matter how good of a person Lana is, no matter how good of a person CJ Perry is, that doesn't excuse the fact that she's a terrible fucking wrestler. That doesn't excuse the fact that she sucks in the ring, she sucks on the microphone, and she's done absolutely nothing to make anyone believe that she is worthy of being in a major spotlight or a major role on television. Matter of fact, the only time when Lana had any value on television was when she was a manager to Rusev when he was going on that 1-year undefeated streak when he was the United States champion. That was the only time that Lana was a vital part of WWE and had a vital role on WWE television. Outside of that, Lana has been a waste of roster space. She is a waste of a paycheck. And the only reason, whether you want to admit it or not, the only reason why she is still employed is because she looks like a porn star. That's it. And no, that ain't sexist. That's WWE Operation 101. WWE operates based on looks over talent. That's the exact reason why Vince McMahon pushed Karrion Kross all the way to the NXT Championship so early, because of his looks. That's the whole reason why Vince McMahon decided to push Roman Reigns as the guy before he became the Tribal Chief, because of his looks. Because there were so many people ahead of him in terms of in-ring work and mic work, yet he chose Roman Reigns. Why? Because of his looks. It's the same reason why he pushed Alexa Bliss into the spotlight, same reason why he's kept Lana employed, yet he released her husband. It's because of her looks. Plain and simple. So we get this match. Lana is getting an offense on Shayna Baszler. Right then and there, you know that the people that are booking the show are absolutely fucking clueless when Lana is getting an offense on Shayna Baszler. So, fast forward here, Asuka gets the tag. Lana was about to be put through a table. She fought out of it. Nia went charging at Lana, and Nia went sailing over the announce table. Asuka rolled up Shayna Baszler for the win. So let me get this straight. So now we go from taking the anger out of Miro going to All Elite Wrestling. We go from taking your anger out on Lana because Miro went to All Elite Wrestling to now you're booking Lana in a potential scenario to potentially win the women's tag team titles alongside Asuka just to shove it in Miro's face that your wife is having more success than you. There are not enough characters on Twitter. There are not enough hours in the day. And there are not enough human words to describe how terrible this storyline with Lana is. And if you are in support of any of this, I have absolutely no respect for you. You are an absolute detriment to the community, to the society, and to the world. I have no respect for you if you support this. None. You don't deserve my respect. So Matt Riddle, he was in the back. He was in the back talking about pizza-flavored yogurt, Brogurt, to MVP. He wanted to wish Bobby Lashley good luck. So MVP said, all right, you know what? You bring your ideas to me, and if we like them, we'll do some business. If we don't like them, we'll do some business. Now, I'm not sure if WWE has been listening to me, but I did pitch Matt Riddle versus Bobby Lashley as a potential U.S. title feud. Matter of fact, that would actually be a very nice undercard match for TLC, and if anything, I would have Matt Riddle win the United States Championship. I would have Matt Riddle go forth and become the United States Champion at the hands of Bobby Lashley. Lashley has not done anything with the United States Championship, and to be quite honest with you, if he beats Matt Riddle, then who else is there for Lashley to drop the title to in 2021, to be quite honest? If anything, I'd give Matt Riddle the United States Championship. Do I expect him to do it? No. So, we got Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley. We had Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley. This was actually a fairly decent match here. Lee and Lashley actually have some pretty decent chemistry, I'm not going to lie. So, Lashley tried clotheslining Lee. That was ineffective. We did have a flatliner on Lee for a 1 count. Keith Lee sent Bobby Lashley to the floor. MVP caused a distraction. Lashley took advantage. He picked up Lee, and he drove him headfirst into the post. It actually looked like he collapsed into it, and I believe Lashley hit his own head on the post. So, coming back from commercial, Lee mounted a comeback, but Lashley with a vicious clothesline, and then he actually delivered a vertical suplex to Keith Lee, a picture-perfect vertical suplex to Keith Lee like it was nothing. So Lashley, that was actually pretty impressive. Lashley was bleeding from the side of his head. Lee came back with a pounce, a crossbody on the floor. MVP then sent Lee to the post. Lee then was on the receiving end of a sleeper hold from Bobby Lashley before he delivered a backpack drop to break the hold, and then out of nowhere, Keith Lee was attacked by MVP. Keith Lee was attacked by MVP, causing a DQ, and Keith Lee advances to next week. Listen, I understand if you want to protect Bobby Lashley, and you should want to protect Bobby Lashley. He's the United States Champion. I understand that. But here's something that you didn't take into consideration. Why is MVP jumping in to cause a disqualification when this is a qualifying match to go to a triple threat to earn a potential opportunity where the Hurt Business could potentially gain more gold? If I'm Bobby Lashley, I'm pissed at MVP. If I am Bobby Lashley, I would be fuming with MVP because he just cost me a chance to go to the match next week to gain an opportunity against Drew McIntyre. MVP looks like an idiot. I understand that neither man can lose, but if you're going to do a finish like this, why not have Keith Lee win via countout? Why not have Keith Lee pounce Bobby Lashley over the announce table? Keith Lee goes back into the ring, and then Keith Lee wins via countout. That way, Bobby Lashley is protected. Bobby Lashley isn't pinned. Keith Lee still advances. Keith Lee goes to the triple threat. Simple. Why did MVP need to jump in? Because if I'm MVP and I want to bring more gold to the Hurt business, I'm not jumping in and causing a DQ. MVP looked like an idiot. And Bobby Lashley, if I were Bobby Lashley, I would want to strangle MVP by his tie. If I'm Lashley, I would be pissed beyond belief. I would be aggravated beyond belief with MVP. Decent match here, but why did you need to go with this idiotic ending? If you wanted to protect Bobby Lashley, then you could have had Bobby Lashley get counted out. That way he wasn't pinned or submitted, and that way Keighley would have still advanced. I don't understand. So, we then had Nikki Cross versus Alexa Bliss. Now, the match itself was a waste of time, but I will say that the character work of Alexa Bliss is awesome. The character work of Alexa Bliss is really, really, really good, I will say. So, Bliss was toying with Nikki Cross. He wanted to play a game of tag. We had a drop toe hold, and then Bliss tried to get Nikki Cross to chase her. Bliss then with the rapid fire curb stomp barrage. We had Bliss laughing when Nikki Cross was beating on her. So we had some short-armed clotheslines. Cross was screaming at Bliss, listen, listen, listen. She was trying to beat the Fiend out of Alexa Bliss. All of a sudden, Bliss was crying. Bliss then started crying. She was crying. She was looking at herself. She didn't know what to make of it. And she was crying for Nikki. She was crying for Nikki to help her. Bliss said that she didn't know what to do. She just kept on crying. And Nikki Cross let her guard down. Nikki Cross let her guard down. And then out of nowhere, Bliss hugged Cross and then delivered a Sister Abigail for the win. This I loved. This I loved because Alexa Bliss reeled in Nikki Cross, lured her into a false sense of confidence, and then struck like a cobra when Nikki Cross let her guard down. I don't know where this is going, but Alexa Bliss is doing some excellent heel work, I will say. So we had the UnderTaker video package playing again. Same package from Survivor Series, as if anyone cared. And then we get Randy Orton and AJ Styles in the main event. So Styles was in control early on. Styles was working on the leg of Orton. Orton with a backbreaker for a 2. Styles then locked in the calf crusher, but Orton was able to get to the ropes. Orton then with the snap power slam for a 2. Orton then rolled out of the ring after an enziguri. Styles was then tripped up on the apron, and then out of nowhere, the Fiend appeared behind the barricade. The Fiend appeared behind the barricade, and then we had Orton looking, but then the Fiend was gone. So Orton couldn't focus. Orton hit the draping DDT, and then the lights went out again, and the Fiend was behind Orton. The Fiend was behind Orton. The lights went out. The lights went on again. The Fiend was gone. And then we had a phenomenal forearm, and Styles pinned Orton to advance to the triple threat next week. The Fiend became the biggest babyface in the company. Thank Christ. No more. No more. No more Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. There is a God. There is a God. Now, not that Orton versus The Fiend is going to be anything memorable, but that looks like the program that we're going to be getting going into TLC. I don't think anyone really cares. We got Styles, more likely than not, advancing in the triple threat, and he's going to be the one to face Drew McIntyre. But then you got Braun Strowman, so I don't know what's going on there. I do not know what's going on there, but it seems as though Styles is positioned to win the match, and then we are going to see Braun Strowman somehow get involved. I don't know how. So, that was pretty much Monday Night Raw. Outside of Bobby Lashley and Keith Lee, and then we had Sheamus and Matt Riddle. Show sucked. So, let's check the chat before we move on. Let us check the chat. So, Leo, yeah, my head was about to pop off. Jessica H, how are you? She said that she's coming over to Danielle's place, so you two behave. Peanuts and Danielle are going to get into a wrestling match. Please, 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 calm down. How you doing, Cameron Johnson? Danielle said she'll gently kick Peanuts' butt. Cool King laughing over the murder of Friendship Frog. So, yeah, I know, Cool King. Typical WWE pettiness. Earl, Raw was like 10% baked. Coast Ghost 64, how you doing? Please hit that like button. So, Danielle is back. Danielle, apparently I heard that you're going to gently kick Peanuts' butt. Be careful there. Peanuts is a good dude. Peanuts, don't hit him in his peanuts. That's what I'll say. Anyway. So, okay, you won't go hard. Okay, good. So, we're moving on to AEW Dark. Moving on to AEW Dark here, and it was a nearly 3-hour show. AEW Dark. Listen, AEW's been doing some great stuff, but in no way, shape, or fucking form should AEW Dark be 3 hour. We do not need a 3-hour fucking version of AEW Dark. Keep it an hour and 10 minutes at most, an hour and 15, and have about 2 or 3 enhancement matches, and then 3 or 4 competitive matches. That's all you need. We don't need a 3-hour version of AEW Dark. That is one thing that I hope goes back to normal after the pandemic is over. We need regular AEW Dark, 1 hour and 10 minutes, and that's it. We do not need 3 fucking hours of Dark. It is too much. Way too much. Way too many standard showcase matches for AEW Dark as well. Way too many enhancement matches. We had Vipress versus Big Swole. Standard showcase for Big Swole here. Tiger Driver and a Clover Relief for the tap-out win. We then had Aaron Solo and Lee Johnson versus Alex Reynolds and John Silver. This is a decent little match right here. Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo got the hot tag. Decent little offense right here. Solo was then isolated before Lee got the hot tag. Nice neck breaker. We had a big Tope Con Hero on Silver and a Blue Thunder Bomb on Reynolds for a 2. We then had Solo on the receiving end of a big forearm, enziguri stunner, and German suplex combination as the Dark Order get the win here. This was a great fucking way to end the match. Beautiful combination. Alex Reynolds and John Silver are a great fucking tag team. I'm loving what they're doing. So, decent little match right there. Nothing too special. So, Michael Nakazawa then faced Trent. The ref removed the baby oil from Nakazawa's trunks. This was fucking cringy. Taz then called a Burple Nurple. If you know what a Burple Nurple is, he called it the Areola Pinch, and then said Nipple Jones. He then said Nipple Jones. They were laughing, and he said, "What are we doing here?" in general. So Taz's commentary was actually better than the actual match. Michael Nakazawa was terrible. Taz is a fucking gem. So he's saying, we got Nipple Jones over here. So then after that, we had three sexy Chucky knee strikes for the win. Trent gets the win. We then had Red Velvet versus Tesha Price. Red Velvet is coming along very nicely. Red Velvet is very good in the ring. Red Velvet's very, very fluid in the ring. She almost reminds me of the female Lio Rush, if you know what I mean. She's very, very fluid. Great stuff here from Red Velvet. She won with what looked to be a Claymore kick. So, taking inspiration from Drew McIntyre there. So, Shawn Spears was interviewed. A great interview, by the way, by Shawn Spears. I'm fucking loving what Shawn Spears is doing. So Shawn Spears, he said that there's nothing left for him in Sky. He's saying how you are asking me about cheating. Meanwhile, everyone's looking down upon me because I figured out how the system works. Come on. So Spears is vastly underrated, and I would actually love to see him challenge Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. He's ranked, so I think that a TNT title match is well overdue for Mr. Shawn Spears. He's been on like a 13-match winning streak. I think it's time for Mr. Shawn Spears to get a title shot. So Lance Archer, he dragged a poor scrub out to the ring, and he destroyed him as per usual. He destroyed this scrub as per usual. So Roberts, he says he considers himself an honest prick. So do I. We are one and the same. Mr. Jake Roberts, I consider myself an honest prick. So he says he invented the DDT. Lance says that he ran roughshod over Japan. Robert says that he tied up Randy Savage in the ropes and had a cobra bite him. Lance dared anyone to get in his face and show him who they are. So, I don't know where Lance Archer is going. I believe we found out where Lance Archer is going, as he did attack Eddie Kingston on Dynamite, which we'll talk about. So, VSK and Baron Black, they took on Private Party. This was just a standard showcase for Private Party, as Private Party won with the Shooting Star Press off of the back of Black for the win. We then had Kylan King versus Rache Chanel. Oh, trust me, Earl Cole, I know it was. You could just tell by watching. So, Kylan King is coming along very nicely. Rache Chanel's garbage, though. Rache Chanel's absolute fucking garbage. We had a back suplex facebuster for the win as Kylan King gains her second win ever in AEW. We then had Sammy Guevara versus Marco Stunt. This was actually a very fun match for 4 minutes. I actually love this match right here. This was probably one of the best matches of the night. Don't you be answering those texts. Don't you be. So, we then had Stunt with the Dragon Rana off the apron, Sammy to the floor. We had a diving elbow to the back for a 2. Sammy then with a springboard 450 to Stunt on the floor. Marco then with a reverse Rana on the apron. Looked brutal there. Sammy then with a Sammy caught a diving senton off the stage by Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt was flying everywhere in this match. We then had the Go to Hospital for the win. Fun little match for 4 minutes. Sammy took the mic and said, another win for the good guys. He says he's still here. Golf carts thrown at him and he's still here. No days off. Dark Dynamite or pay-per-view. Sammy Guevara is the best ever. Nobody will outshine Sammy Guevara. Sammy is not only the best, but he is a champion in AEW, and everyone will see that. So I cannot wait to see Sammy Guevara in a major program. There's 2 routes that I can see Sammy Guevara going for Revolution. I can see Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. We could possibly see a rematch from last year's Revolution, only this time it's for the TNT title. Or we could potentially see Sammy Guevara versus MJF, where the winner could potentially get kicked out of the Inner Circle. I think that would be great. I think that it would be an excellent, excellent, excellent story to tell. So we'll see what happens with Sammy Guevara, but I do believe that Sammy Guevara will be a champion in 2021, excuse me. So we had Dream Girl Ellie versus Penelope Ford. Handspring cutter and a Fisherwoman suplex for the win. Standard showcase. Another standard showcase for Ivelisse and Diamante as they defeated Lady Frost and the Bionic Beast Jenna. Brandon Cutler then defeated Adam Priest with the TPK. Brandon Cutler, he has gotten 4 wins in a row now. Interesting to see where Brandon Cutler goes. We then had The Waiting Room with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. So Britt Baker says that she's quite the comedian. She congrats Renee and Jon Moxley on their new kid. She actually threw shade at Moxley for not coming to the contract signing. She then introduced Ty Conchi. She said that she loves Serena Deeb in Red Velvet. And she also said she would love to wrestle Sheeta. Britt revealed a question from Tony S. And it was, "Are you dating?" Ty says that it's none of your damn business. And then Rebel, a.k.a. Reba, Rebel not Reba, she then introduced the Acclaimed, which is my favorite part of Dark, actually. So the Acclaimed came out, Max rapped, and he said, and I quote, "You can try to be like us. I don't really think you could ever do enough, though. You are not prepared to be acclaimed. You could never travel our terrain. And I think we're ready for the Hall of Fame. Platinum Max, and it isn't just a name. You will never be cuter than I am. Bowen's got more talent in his right hand than everybody on the whole roster, and we got these teams looking awkward. Maybe you should be like Britt. Put the smile on, it's priceless, and we about to leave you lifeless. You should try to be like us. I don't really think you could ever do enough, though." And that was great. That was great. I fucking love the Acclaimed. I absolutely fucking love the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed is absolutely fucking awesome. The Acclaimed is absolutely fucking awesome. And that was not the first time that we would see the Acclaimed, and which I was very happy about. The Acclaimed got even better. Just wait. So then we had the Gun Club versus KTB, Cesar Bononi, and Seth Gargis. This was a standard showcase for the Gun Club. Colton Gunn actually got the win with a Famouser. We had Panda Express versus Jurassic Express. We had a discus knee and a running elbow smash for the win by Jurassic Express. Danielle, you missed me rapping the Acclaims rap. I'm going to rap it again. I'm going to rap another one. We're coming up on another one. We then had Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. versus the Hybrid 2. The Hybrid 2 get the win here with an inverted figure 4. Obviously, they got a match with Top Flight on Dynamite. Top Flight actually attacked TH2. That was going into their match on Dynamite the following night. The Acclaimed were back again. They took on Alex Chamberlain and Damian Fenrir. Damian Fenrir and Alex Chamberlain. They took on the Acclaimed. So Max Caster came out and he rapped. "Now you boys can run. Why this grandpa teaming with his grandson? And Damien, you ain't even in the game we playing in. The game you play is with Kip Sabian and Miro. Chamberlain looking like 1,000 zeros. Looking like you ate a 6-foot Italian hero. I think you had enough. Acclaimed leaving bitches on their back looking up." And then he said, "Wow." So the 6-foot Italian hero, that got me. That actually got me laughing. The Acclaimed is I fucking love it. I don't care. The Acclaimed may be my new favorite tag team. The Acclaimed may be my new favorite tag team. I absolutely love the Acclaimed. So, the Acclaimed win with the Fisherman Buster and an elbow drop combo. And that was pretty much that. I'm loving what the Acclaimed is doing. We then had Matt Sydal versus Allen 5 Angels. And this was actually a damn good match. This was a damn good match for 8 minutes. We had a very technical back and forth start. And then we had Angels with an STO to Sydal on the apron. 10 obviously got involved. Number 10 obviously got involved. We then had Angels getting hit with a roundhouse kick and a standing tornillo. We had a leg lariat and a fisherman brainbuster for a 2. Angels then backflipped off the middle rope. Standing Spanish fly to Sydal for a 2. Sydal then caught him with a hook kick. Springboard moonsault, but he kicked out. And then Sydal with the modified Page Turner. And Angels loses to Matt Sydal. Sydal gets the win in a damn good match here on AEW Dark. Danielle made the news public in the stream that her brother tested positive for COVID. If everyone could, please, please, please send your thoughts and prayers to Danielle. Please send your thoughts and prayers to Danielle and her brother. God bless you. My thoughts and prayers are with you always. Moving on here, we had Fuego del Sol versus Pretty Peter Avalon. And Fuego actually looked good here. We had a diving crossbody and a straight jacket neckbreaker for a 2. Avalon then eventually hit the Martinis for the win, and Avalon got his first win. We then had Chaos Project versus The Dark Order versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Chaos Project and Sonny Kiss are fucking terrible. Just pointing it out there. But the match itself was very fun. Kiss and Janela with some stereo dives on the other 4 men. Dark Order then took over control and they dissected Sonny Kiss. We had Chaos Project getting their offense in. Luther's fucking horrible. Janela got the tag. He got dropped by Grayson into Chaos Project. We had a back body drop to Grayson. Double clothesline to the Dark Order. We had a superplex to Serpentico onto the Dark Order. He kept screaming Doomsday Device. Or he kept screaming. Janela kept screaming. We had a Doomsday Device on Serpentico for a 2. Grayson with a DDT to Janela on the apron. We had a Swanton Bomb to Kiss for a 2 by Evil Uno. Chaos Project got into the mix. Serpentico got tossed onto Uno and Sonny. We then had a Cannonball to Grayson. And then Stu, Grayson, and Evil Uno hit the Fatality on Joey Janela. And the Dark Order get the win. Right outcome right here. And I'm still a little bitter. I'm still a little bitter that the Dark Order were not given the tag team titles. I understand what you did with FTR and the Young Bucks and how you wanted to get that match for the tag team titles out there on Full Gear. I understand that, but man, if Stu Grayson and Evil Uno would have won the tag team titles off of Kenny and Hangman, it would have absolutely boosted their stock. It would have bolstered their stock by so much. It really would. Let's check the chat before we get into the Dynamite review. So Danielle is apparently explaining what fleets are on Twitter. Miss Southern Belle, how are you? Thank you for leaving the like. We have Danielle, he was supposed to come up for my aunt's funeral, but cannot now. Yeah, enough about the bad news. Enough about the bad news. We're talking about some good news here. We're talking about a great Thanksgiving. We're talking about how we got a lot of preparation for the holidays. We're going to talk about a great Dynamite as well. We're going to talk about a great Dynamite. God, my allergies are killing me. I'm sorry, my allergies are absolutely fucking killing me. So, Dynamite Dynamite was actually a really, really, really good show. Dynamite was a really good show right here. We had a lot of great wrestling on the show. And we got a nice setup for next week's show. Winter is coming. So, Hangman Adam Page versus John Silver started off the show. And this match, it went about 9 minutes. But let me tell you something. It was a great fucking match for 9 minutes. This match is fucking awesome for only 9 minutes. John Silver, I am telling you, John Silver is so underrated. John Silver is one of the most underappreciated professional wrestlers right now. So, Page launched Silver into the air with a back body drop. We then had Silver with a diving crossbody for a 2. Silver with some stiff kicks to the chest of Page. We had some stiff kicks to the chest of Page, and then we had Page getting hit with a snap German suplex for a 2. Awesome stuff right here by John Silver. Page then mounted a comeback with a big plancha. We then had a sliding lariat for a 2. We had a fallaway slam and a standing shooting star press for a 2. And then we had Silver with a beautiful combination, a German suplex, super kick, and a brainbuster combo for a very close 2 count. Page then exchanged strikes back and forth with Silver. We had a Liger bomb by Page for a 2. Page eventually hit the buckshot lariat, and Page gets the win in a great match with John Silver. John Silver, so underappreciated, so underrated. He is a great fucking wrestler. If you're shitting on John Silver, you're an absolute fucking moron. John Silver is a great professional wrestler in every sense of the word. So much so that he's actually starting to outshine Alex Reynolds. So much so that he should actually be fighting in the TNT Championship title picture. So, this is a great match to kick off the show between Adam Page and John Silver. Great match for only 9 minutes. Afterwards, the Dark Order came out, and Evil Uno said his friends are here for him. You know where we are, and you know where to find us. So, this should be an interesting scenario right here, considering that Adam Hangman Page, obviously it's going to be a while before Adam Hangman Page is back challenging for the world title. Because Omega is going to be the world champion, and Omega is holding that title for the majority of 2021. No way that Kenny Omega is losing that title anytime soon. So, if anything, a match with Brody Lee, that could apparently be on the horizon, and I would actually love to see that. I would actually love to see Adam Hangman Page versus Brody Lee at Revolution. That would actually be a very, very, very interesting scenario. I would love to see that. So, Omega was interviewed. He was wearing his cleaner suit. Omega was wearing his cleaner suit, and he says, the more things change, the more they stay the same. You have the AEW title, meaning Jon Moxley, you have the AEW title, and until I get your belt, I don't get that best in the world title. He says that, for once, just leave the garbage wrestling at home. And then he says, my dad would probably beat the shit out of your dad. So, Omega obviously getting under the skin of Jon Moxley there. Next week, we got the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal. So, we could possibly see a new holder of the Dynamite Diamond Ring. I would actually not mind Matt Hardy or Sammy Guevara potentially holding the Dynamite Diamond Ring. MJF is defending his Dynamite Diamond Ring that he won 1 year ago. So, next week, we got Cody and Darby in another tag team match. Cody and Darby are taking on Absolute Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. So now they're calling him Powerhouse Hobbs now that he's a part of Team Taz. So Powerhouse Hobbs then took on Lee Johnson. Hobbs absolutely destroyed Lee Johnson. He was tossing him around. He won easily. So then afterwards, Taz came out and he took the mic. And he says, Starks and Cage is celebrating, but he says that AEW isn't acknowledging the FTW title. He says that he's sick of it. And he says he's not leaving until a person from management comes out and makes that title mean something. So they cut his mic off. Justin Roberts, gave him his mic. They cut him off. Cody then came out and asked if he was done. Cody says, look, let's move on. You're wasting time. Taz says he needs someone to put some respect on the FTW championship. He's sick of the bullshit. Cody says, look. He'll run it up the flagpoles. And then Taz goes, what are you going to do, Cody? You gonna say that creative has nothing for me? You're going to wish me luck in my future endeavors? So at this point, Cody gets pissed and he goes, all right, you know what? If that means something, if that means something so much, your son Hook, why is he not training with you to become a professional wrestler? Why is he training with me? So Taz goes, that was uncalled for. You're going to pay for that. So Cody was looking into the camera, and then out of nowhere, Taz comes up from behind Cody and locks in the Tazmission. And he chokes out Cody. And then afterwards, his son came out, and he carried the title away. This was fucking awesome. I was not expecting anything out of this, but they are playing up. They are booking this Team Taz versus the System storyline perfectly. They are booking this storyline perfectly. I don't even know where it's going. But I am very, very, very much intrigued to see where it goes. I am very much interested in seeing what Team Taz and Cody does. I've been loving this. I am loving this shit right here with Team Taz and Cody. And then, of course, you got Darby Allin in there. We could possibly see Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks. We could possibly see Darby Allin versus the Machine Brian Cage. I'm actually wondering why we're not getting Darby Allin versus Brian Cage for the TNT title at Winter is Coming. I guess they want to just put that spotlight on the world title match. But nevertheless, I don't even know where this is going, but I am loving this storyline. This was fucking awesome right here. We then had Top Flight versus the Hybrid 2. This was a very, very good tag team match. And I am very much liking what they're doing with the Hybrid 2. We had the Hybrid 2 isolating Dante Martin before Darius got the hot tag. We had a beautiful missile dropkick for a 2. Back suplex powerbomb for a 2. Suicide dive by Darius. And then a Tope Con Hero by Dante. We then had a big splash by Dante, but Evans was able to kick out. We then had an assisted 450 by the Hybrid 2, but Darius was able to kick out. Darius then got dropped to the floor, and Helico then with an inverted figure 4 on Dante Martin. But that was not enough. It was not enough for the Hybrid 2 to take a loss here. Dante was not enough, and Dante eventually tapped out. And the Hybrid 2 get a win over Top Flight in a very good tag team match right here. He didn't let go of the hold, and then the Bucks came out to help. So it looks like the Hybrid 2 are going to be the Bucks' first challengers, which I do not mind whatsoever. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the Bucks versus the Hybrid 2 for the tag team titles. We then had SCU versus Chris Jericho. This was Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels versus Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. So SCU were in firm control to start. Hager and Jericho then isolated Kazarian. We then had a tag to Daniels, and then Hager and Jericho isolated Daniels. We had a hot tag to Kazarian. He came in with a scoop slam, slingshot leg drop for a 2 on Jericho. We then had Jericho getting hit with a stomp from Christopher Daniels, and then a tope by Daniels to Jake Hager. We then had a crossbody on Jericho for a 2. diving flatliner to Hager. We then had the best moonsault ever connect, but Jericho saved the match. MJF then hit Daniels with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and then we had a Judas effect. Hager covered for the win. This was another very good tag team match right here. And then afterwards, the Inner Circle attacked, and Scorpio Sky saved SCU. We then had take two of the Moxley-Omega contract signing. And Justin Roberts did his usual Omega introduction. But out of nowhere, Moxley attacked Omega in the tunnel. Moxley attacked Omega in his entrance, and then Moxley stomped on Omega's hand, and then hit a paradigm shift on the title, which looked brutal. And then Moxley took the mic. He says, he's still walking. I thought our beef was squashed 1 year ago, but now you had to go and piss me off. The only way that you become champion is you find the Omega that everyone thinks you are on December 2nd. The two best wrestlers on the planet tangle for the title. Winter is coming for you, Kenny. This ain't a joke. And you came at the king. When you come at the king, you best not miss. Take your shot. You'll only get one. So he signs the contract, and that was it. Short, simple, sweet, effective, and now we will get Moxley and Omega next week. And Omega, I'm telling you right now, Omega is going to be the world champion. And a lot of people have been throwing the idea around the community that Kenta was the one that attacked Jon Moxley because he's got an IWGP United States title match at Wrestle Kingdom. So that could very well play into effect. I am very, very, very much looking forward to what happens next week. And I would actually love to see Kenta on Dynamite. I'd love to see a New Japan AEW partnership. Next week, we got Chris Jericho versus Frankie Kazarian. I think that's going to be a great match. I think that's going to be an excellent match. We then had Anna Jay versus Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. And this was, it was there. It wasn't necessarily bad. There were no botches. There were no miscommunications. Everything played out smoothly. But it really felt like a filler match. It wasn't a bad match. It was a decent little match, but it felt like it could have gone another 5, 6, 7 minutes. And I feel as though AEW, they kind of put too much. If there was one criticism that I need to point out with this specific episode of Dynamite, it's the fact that they tried to put too much in 2 hours. We didn't need a Team Taz interview. We didn't need an Inner Circle interview. We didn't need a Darby Allin promo. We didn't need all of this backstage stuff. If anything, you could have given 5, 6, 7 more minutes to Anna Jay and Hikaru Shida. The match itself wasn't bad, but this match suffered from the same thing that Big Swole and Hikaru Shida suffered from back at the anniversary show, and it's the fact that they tried to put too much. So much so that they had to rush it. Now, this match was obviously better than the Big Swole match. But I don't know. It just felt like it could have gone a lot longer. Anna Jay was actually looking pretty good here. And I actually wanted to see what more Anna Jay could do with Hikaru Shida. But it seems as though they tried to cram too much within 2 hours and they cut this match short. The match itself wasn't bad. It was a decent little match, but it could have gone on 5, 6, 7 more minutes. I don't know what's going on. So Anna Jay tried to cut Shida down. She slowed the pace down with a spin kick to the head and a flipping neck breaker for a 2. So Tai Conchi then handed Anna Jay a chair. The ref obviously saw this, so he took the chair away. He was talking to Tai Conchi, and then John Silver handed Anna Jay Shida's kendo stick, and she chopped Shida out at the knee and tried for a pin, and she got a very, very close 2 count off of that. Jay then reversed the Falcon Arrow for another very close roll-up. Jay got some very close roll-ups where I thought she was actually going to win the women's title. So, we then had a running forearm for a 2 by Shida, but then Shida eventually hit the Tamashi for the win, and Shida retains the AEW Women's World Championship in a decent little match. It wasn't a bad match. It was a decent little match right here against Anna Jay, but it felt like it could have gone so much more longer. Just saying. So then afterwards, Abaddon, yes, Abaddon, unfortunately, came out to confront Shida, and she licked the Women's World Championship and left her blood on it. The match itself, again, wasn't bad. Anna Jay is coming along, but it should have gone at least another 5, 6, 7 more minutes. I don't know why they had to put all this extra backstage shit on Dynamite. The match wasn't bad, but again, it could have gone much longer. On top of that, here's the thing. I understand that you need challengers for Shida, but Abaddon? Really? I've stated this once and I'll say it again. Abaddon is a terrible fucking wrestler. She is a terrible wrestler. Abaddon is sloppy, she's uncoordinated, and her punches look awful. I don't know what it is with her, but she is not a good wrestler whatsoever. And that has to do with her inexperience. Abaddon is one of the worst women's wrestlers that they have employed in the company right now. She was hired for her gimmick alone. The gimmick is fine. I don't mind the gimmick. It's a little over the top, but I don't mind the gimmick. I don't mind the gimmick at all. But she is undoubtedly a terrible fucking wrestler. She's not as bad as Nia Jax, but she's still a bad wrestler. Shida deserves so much more better. And obviously, look, Abaddon is going to be probably the next in line, but that doesn't mean that she's winning. I understand that you want to give Shida one more title defense before she eventually loses the title, but Abaddon, you can think of someone a hell of a lot better than fucking Abaddon. I prefer Brandy Rhodes over Abaddon, and I don't even like Brandy Rhodes. I don't even like Brandy Rhodes. All signs point to Shida versus Britt Baker at Revolution. You're not putting Britt Baker in a match with Layla Hirsch next week. You're not putting her in a program with Thunder Rosa for nothing. You're putting her with these women as test runs to see if she is legitimately ready to be the Women's World Champion. You're putting her with these individuals to get her ready for that eventual Women's World Championship title match with Shida at Revolution. That title is Britt Baker's at Revolution. It is not Abaddon's. It's not Anna Jay's. It's not Nyla Rose. It is Britt Baker. Plain and simple. But Abaddon's fucking terrible. In no way, shape, or form should she be anywhere near a ring, let alone a Women's World Championship. So Team Taz was interviewed backstage, and Stark says that, Cody, you made this personal, and now me and Powerhouse Hobbs are coming to break heads. Cage says that the FTW lifestyle, and FTW is the most dominant force in wrestling. Who bet? So next week, like I mentioned, we got Britt Baker versus Layla Hirsch. We also got the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal. We got Chris Jericho and Frankie Kazarian. And then we got Winter is Coming with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. So in the main event, we had Pac versus Rey Fenix. Or no. Pac and Rey Fenix versus the Butcher and the Blade. My apologies. This was actually a great fucking tag team match. The Butcher and the Blade, very, very, very underrated are the Butcher and the Blade. The fight started out hot. We had a beautiful tope con hero by Phoenix and a moonsault by Pac, taking out the Butcher and the Blade on the floor. We then had Pac and Phoenix isolating the Blade. A beautiful sequence where the Blade was down. We had the Butcher with a headbutt to Phoenix out of the air, and then Pac with a super kick. We had a beautiful handspring cutter by Phoenix and a tag to Pac. Pac lit up the Blade with the Northern Light suplex for a 2. We had a clothesline by the Butcher turning Pac inside out. We had an assisted gut buster and then a Dr. Bomb, but Phoenix was able to save that match. Then afterwards, Eddie Kingston came up and crotched Ray Phoenix on the top turnbuckle. And then we had the Butcher and the Blade with the win over Ray Phoenix. And I'm very, very, very glad that Butcher and Blade got the win. This was a much-needed win for the Butcher and the Blade. And they pinned Phoenix. They did not pin Pac. They are protecting Pac. So then afterwards, Kingston and his family attacked the Death Triangle. We had a DDT on the chair to Pac. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we hear Lance Archer's theme song. Lance Archer ran out and he jumped in the air and tackled the Blade over the ropes. He just flung himself at the Blade. 43, 44 years old, flung himself at the fucking Blade, and he just starts taking out everybody. And he sends Kingston and his family running, and the lasting image of Dynamite, we see Lance Archer standing tall as we hear the theme song, Everybody Dies, which was great. So I don't know where Lance Archer's going. I'm pretty sure that Lance Archer is going to be going after Kingston. So Kingston has much more to worry about than just Pac and the Lucha Bros. So we could be seeing Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston at some point, which I would not mind. I would actually love to see that. But Dynamite, undoubtedly the best show of the week. Great show, great show. A lot of great wrestling, a lot of great storyline progression. And next week we got Winter is Coming, which is going to be a great show. NXT. The show is definitely better than last week, I will say, but here's the thing. We got some great wrestling. We got a lot of great progression. It felt like they were operating with a sense of urgency since they got War Games coming up on December 6th, which I have no problem with. I have no problem with that. But here's the thing. If NXT was operating with a sense of urgency like this for the last 2 months, then maybe the product wouldn't have felt so dead. So, here's the thing that I have a problem with. War Games is coming up. But it feels like they're just doing War Games for the sake of doing War Games. And it's the same thing that we rag on WWE main roster for doing pay-per-views just for the sake of doing them, like TLC and Hell in a Cell and Extreme Rules and Money in the Bank. These gimmick pay-per-views are just there for the sake of it being there, and WWE is too lazy to build up to a match where a stipulation like that calls for it. So I really don't understand why you're doing TLC as its own pay-per-view or Hell in a Cell as its own pay-per-view. It's really taking away from the specialness. That's what I don't understand. And with War Games, you take a look at War Games, I don't mind them doing War Games, but it needs to have a specific meaning behind it. It needs to have a meaning behind it in which you're going to go out of your way to watch it. It needs to have long-term build behind it. Because you take a look at this War Games versus the last 3 War Games, look at what happened. Look at what happened in the 2017 War Games. 2017 War Games, we had a long-term build between the Undisputed Era and Sanity and then AOP and Roderick Strong. And that was building over the course of 3 fucking months. You take a look at 2018 War Games, and we had the Undisputed Era having problems with Ricochet, Pete Dunne, and the War Raiders for about 2, 3, 4 months, right? And then take a look at last year. You had Team Ciampa versus Team Cole, Team Undisputed Era, because Adam Cole and Ciampa, they were eventually going to go into a program where Ciampa was going to take the NXT title off of Adam Cole, or Ciampa was going to try and take the NXT title off of Adam Cole. So, you take a look at that long-term build, Then you take a look at this War Games, and it seems like they are doing War Games for the sake of doing it. They legitimately had no long-term build for War Games, so much so that they recycled a storyline with Pat McAfee that realistically didn't have any business continuing. It makes no sense for the business, for this feud, this business to continue, because Pat McAfee lost. Pat McAfee, it doesn't matter whether he felt disrespected. Oh, you felt disrespected because Adam Cole didn't shake your hand, didn't show you the respect that he deserved after Adam Cole beat you. What are we playing, a game of kickball in kindergarten on the playground? What are we playing, are we playing a game of fucking capture the flag in third grade gym class? Pat McAfee ran his mouth. Adam Cole stepped up, and the match was made at TakeOver 30, and Adam Cole beat Pat McAfee straight up. There were no shenanigans. There was no tomfoolery. Pat McAfee lost. So there's no reason for the feud to continue. Pat McAfee has no leg to stand on. Pat McAfee has nothing to say. Oh, Adam Cole, you didn't show me the respect. Get over it. Grow the fuck up. You ran your mouth and you got your ass kicked. The storyline has no legit reason to continue, and the only reason why it's still going on is because Pat McAfee was the only other thing that they had going for the men's War Games match to get the Undisputed Era in a War Games match. Now, what they should have done, what they could have done, is they could have kept Keith Lee, they could have kept Dijakovic, they could have kept Shane Thorne, they should have kept every one of those NXT call-ups in NXT. Keith Lee and Adam Cole, I've been saying it for God knows how many weeks. Keith Lee and Adam Cole should have been the NXT Championship match going into TakeOver 31. Keith Lee should have been the NXT Champion. She should be the NXT Champion right now. Then what you could have done is you could have built up the Undisputed Era, saying, oh my God, look, we've lost all the gold. Maybe people are starting to think that the Undisputed Era is going soft. Maybe people are starting to think that the Undisputed Era is not the same Undisputed Era. Let's remind them who we are. And the Undisputed Era could go on a tyrant, can go on an attack, attacking random people, asserting their dominance. And then it comes back to bite them in the ass when 4 of those random people stand up to the Undisputed Era. You could have Keith Lee in there. You could have Damian Priest in there. You could have Dominik Dijakovic in there. And then what they could have done is they could have built up to a team of 4 that the Undisputed Era attacked versus the Undisputed Era. There's no way in hell that you can tell me that this storyline with Pat McAfee makes sense after it was already put to rest. It was already put to rest. It didn't need to continue. It meant nothing. It was a one-and-done scenario. Why is this still continuing? Makes no sense. Again, Pat McAfee does not have a leg to stand on. If you are not going to put in a long-term build towards a War Games match that makes sense, then don't fucking do War Games. It's the same thing with the women. You take a look at the women's War Games match from last year and then this year. What is the difference? You had Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley being the team captains, and the main story was Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley being built up to be the next in line to challenge Shayna and potentially take the title off of Shayna. The story was Rhea and Shayna, and then you had the moving elements of Dakota Kai, and then Kaylee Ray came in. Kaylee Ray attacked Mia Yim. Dakota Kai, she turned heel on Tegan Nox. You had a lot of moving elements in there. You had a lot of stories being told in there. But the main story was Rhea Ripley being built up to take that title off of Shayna Baszler. You take a look at the storyline now, and the only thing that people are going to be focusing on with Team Shotzi and Team Candice is the fact that Candice LeRae destroyed Shotzi Blackheart's motorized go-kart. It's literally a motorized go-kart decorated to look like a tank. That's what the feud's over? Now, I understand you had Candice and Shotzi cost each other 2 NXT women's title opportunities. That should have been the basis of the storyline, but you had to go and have Candice run over Shotzi Blackheart's motorized go-kart. I don't get it. Why did we need that? On the surface, when you look at it, they even tweeted it out. WWE even tweeted it out. You destroy a tank, and then you start a war. They tweeted it out on Twitter. The feud is literally over a fucking tank. The build, and I don't even believe I'm saying this, the build towards TakeOver War Games has been absolutely piss fucking poor. And I mean piss poor. It is fucking bad. You take a look at the NXT North American title picture, and that's a fucking mess as well. Don't even get me started on Rhea Ripley Earl. The show wasn't bad. NXT had a lot of good stuff on it. Had a lot of unpredictable stuff on it, I will say. But at the end of the day, the build towards War Games has been piss poor, and it seems like they're just doing it for the sake of fucking doing it, which I don't understand why. I really don't. So, the show kicked off with Candice LeRae versus Ember Moon. Moon with a wheelbarrow facebuster on LeRae on the table. Owens was actually on commentary. He said, "Hi, Candice." Danielle stopped dabbing. The only thing that's going... Oh, God. No dabbing! I'm ranting! Don't make me. I will walk away right now. No. I'm not smiling yet. I'll sing an original DJ Storm's Christmas song in the end. So, Owens was on commentary. He was actually pretty funny. He was saying, "Hi, Candice." So, Moon with a fallaway slam. Moon then kept the pressure on LeRae before LeRae took over. Moon with an exploder suplex before Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez came out to watch the match. We had Moon coming back with a roll-up. Candice LeRae with a Gargano escape. And then she transitioned into a sleeper hold. Ember broke it. Ember Moon with an enziguri, some forearm strikes, and a gourd buster. Indy Hartwell was then shoved into the ring as Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez caused a disqualification. Indy Hartwell caught the Eclipse, and then Candice LeRae hit the Wicked Stepsister on Ember Moon for the win. Good match right here. Good match. Good women's match to start off the show. Afterwards, Tony Storm came out to aid Ember Moon, or so we thought. Storm then yanked Ember Moon out and attacked her. And then she fed her to LeRae and her team. And then we had Raquel slamming her down with a one-armed powerbomb. So, this was a damn good women's match to kick off the show. And Tony Storm, that was actually pretty unpredictable. I was not expecting Tony Storm to turn heel. That was actually pretty awesome. So, Big Boy Johnny, he's entered the chat, as well as Infinite Phoenix Gaming. How you doing? Please hit that like button and share out the stream. I'm currently reviewing NXT. So, Tony Storm's heel turn, that should actually be fairly interesting. I'm actually looking forward to that match specifically because that now Tony's a heel. It'll be a very interesting scenario with Tony Storm and Io Shirai. And we could possibly see Tony Storm and Io Shirai in March for the NXT Women's Championship. We could possibly see Tony Storm take the title off of Io Shirai. That should be a rather interesting scenario right there. So then we had Legado del Fantasma. They were talking about why they formed. They talked about bringing the Cruiserweight title to TakeOver. They said they are the talk of the wrestling world. Then they talked about Kurt Stallion. So Kurt Stallion, we obviously don't know when that match is happening, but that is going to be the next challenger for Mr. Santos Escobar. So then afterwards, we say, when we say we are going to do something, it gets done. That was Mr. Santos Escobar saying that. And listen, this was great. This is a nice little promo, but they have really not showcased Legado del Fantasma in a meaningful way. I'm actually interested to see what Kurt Stallion can do with someone like Santos Escobar, but man, they have not put much focus on Legado del Fantasma. I'm actually wondering why Legado del Fantasma isn't being positioned to take the NXT Tag Team titles. I'm actually wondering. So we had the Undisputed Era coming out. Adam Cole took the mic and he says, "Do we look dead to you?" He says that Pat McAfee and his posse thought that he could take them out, but everyone has failed at taking out the Undisputed Era. He says that you'll be locked inside the match that the Undisputed Era made famous in NXT. Kyle O'Reilly then stepped up and he says that he needs to fight Pete Dunne. Cole says that this is a different Kyle O'Reilly. This is an angry Kyle O'Reilly, and you're going to face a different Undisputed Era, and we will drag you through absolute hell. We'll take you to war and make sure you are not the same, and that is Undisputed. Great promo. Great promo. Love the Undisputed Era on the microphone. Glad that the Undisputed Era is finally starting to get back into the Undisputed Era that we know. The serious Undisputed Era, the focused Undisputed Era. Cole is great on the microphone. And this was a very good promo right here to sell the War Games match. We then had Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher versus Kushida. Listen, Timothy Thatcher is a technical wizard, but Christ almighty, the guy is fucking boring. I don't know what the fuck people see in this guy. The guy is absolutely fucking boring. This match with Kushida, it may have been a Matt Classic, but it was too many fucking submissions. This was fucking boring. Too many fucking submissions, too many technical holds, too many wrist locks, too many arm locks, too many leg locks, too many fucking shoulder locks, too many locks. Too many locks. Too many fucking submissions in this match. So Tommaso Ciampa, he came out and he sat in a chair on the outside of the ring to watch the match. Kushida tried to pick up the pace, but Thatcher constantly put Kushida in a submission hold. Again, too many submission holds. You're damn right, Brian Diaz. It's the best way to get through your Saturday. Spending it with old DJ Storms. Thank you for joining. So, like I said, too many submission holds. We had Kushida coming back with some stiff strikes. Thatcher then got caught in a hoverboard lock. Kushida was then forced to transition into an armbar and then into an ankle lock. Thatcher then transitioned into a sleeper. They brawled to the floor. Thatcher was then busted open by his tooth. Kushida then with a soccer-style kick as Ciampa caused a distraction when he stood up. Kushida then locked in the hoverboard lock and Thatcher tapped out. Yes, Thatcher tapped out and Kushida continues his momentum. At this rate, they're going to be forced to give Kushida an NXT title opportunity because that's pretty much what they're building towards. Kushida's beating everybody. Kushida's pretty much taken over the role of Aleister Black. Kushida's beat everyone. He's beat Austin Theory. He's beat Tony Nese. He's beat Velveteen Dream. He's beaten Tommaso Ciampa. He's beaten Cameron Grimes. He's beaten Timothy Thatcher. He's beaten everybody. They're going to have no choice but to give him an NXT championship opportunity against Finn Balor. I don't understand why you wouldn't. I really don't understand why you wouldn't. So Ciampa then said, I guess he has a problem with me now. So it looks like we're going to get Ciampa versus Thatcher, although I really don't know why we're getting Ciampa versus Thatcher, to be quite honest with you. Because I said it once and I'll say it again. Ciampa, he realistically is the only other guy to face Finn Balor and could take a loss. Because at this rate, if Finn Balor faces Kushida, then Kushida has to win. You're not going to build up Kushida to ultimately lose to Finn Balor. So I don't know what you're doing there. I don't know why you're putting Ciampa with Thatcher. I understand that Ciampa wants to fight all of these legitimate people. He wants to fight these warriors, these mat grapplers. I understand that Ciampa has this old school locker room mentality, but if anything, Ciampa should be positioned to fight Finn Balor for the NXT title and put over Finn Balor to enhance Finn Balor's title reign. I don't understand why Ciampa is not being positioned to be that guy for Balor to beat to enhance his title reign, and then you can build up Kushida. Who's Finn Balor going to face now? I don't know. So then we had the Kevin Owens show with Leon Ruff, the North American champion. He says, I know you got a message. So what does it mean to you to be the North American champion? So Leon Ruff says that he wanted to be an inspiration for people to continue fighting for your dreams. For every time that you hear those words, you can't do it. Keep on fighting because dreams do come true. So Owens says, you got to say it with a little bit more conviction. So Leon Ruff then got excited. Owens then says, look, it's not the chairs, because Leon Ruff kicked the chair. Owens goes, look, it's not the chairs, but when you usually say somebody's name, then they normally come out. So he was actually mocking, he was legitimately mocking the main roster by saying, hey, when you say someone's name, someone usually comes out. Blah, blah, blah. He was being a fan. He was being a critiquer in that moment. So Johnny Gargano came out. Johnny Gargano threw out a chair. Owens brought in another chair. Gargano says that the only reason you have that title is because of Priest. And Owens was like, oh, God, you're saying it again. And then Damian Priest came out. So Damian Priest came out. And we then had Damian Priest mocking Johnny Gargano. Priest says that, hey, look, he beat you twice, so you can complain about losing all you want, but he beat you twice. So Priest says, before we get into Johnny Chokes a lot over here, I never actually received a rematch for that man. And Priest says, you did say that you would defend that title against the both of us. So Owens says, it's too bad we don't have our own version of Teddy Long, who can make a triple threat. So William Regal came out and he made the triple threat match. It is Leon Ruff versus Damian Priest versus Gargano at TakeOver War Games. And then he said, playa. So, listen, I absolutely fucking hate wrestling-inspired talk shows. They need to die. They need to absolutely die. But I'm going to be quite honest with you here. I actually didn't mind this segment. Not to say that it was overbearing, not to say it was anything overly entertaining, but I did not mind this segment. Owens was extremely entertaining. Everyone played their roles very well, and we get a triple threat match. So ultimately, I can't really complain about it too much. It was a hell of a lot better than the main roster inspired talk shows that we get. But here's the thing. No matter if this segment was bearable, and no matter how good the eventual match is going to be at TakeOver War Games, and trust me, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great match. It doesn't matter, because it's ultimately a lose-lose-lose situation. It's ultimately a lose-lose-lose situation because if Leon Ruff retains, then this joke of an individual is still going to be the North American champion. If Gargano wins the title back, why did you even take the title off him to begin with? And if Priest wins the title back, why did you even take the title off of him to begin with? What's the fucking point? It is a lose-lose-lose situation no matter what happens at TakeOver War Games. And WWE has no one to blame but themselves. Vince McMahon has no one to blame but themselves. I don't give a shit if the fans are entertained by the talk shows. They are fucking horrible. 80% of the WWE Universe are idiots. There's a reason why I don't respect anybody, man. I respect little to no one when it comes to wrestling. So then afterwards, we get Jake Atlas versus Danielle's favorite superstar, and his name is good old Cameron Grimes. You know, we're getting Cameron Grimes versus Leon Ruff for the North American title, and I'm winning that title and going to the moon. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but Cameron Grimes is going to the moon. I want to make sure everybody is aware that Cameron Grimes is going to the moon. So when you see the moon, when you walk outside and you see that moon, that full moon, that's where Cameron Grimes is going. I want to make sure everyone, you gotta understand this, people. Cameron Grimes is going to the moon. He's going to the moon. I want to make sure everyone knows that. He's going to the moon. So, match itself was a pretty standard match. Really nothing too crazy. Atlas was using his quickness against Cameron Grimes before Grimes came back with a German suplex. Atlas then with a snap German and a big forearm for a 2. Cameron Grimes then with a beautiful Spanish fly. I love Cameron Grimes' Spanish fly. And then we had a cave-in, and Cameron Grimes gets the win. Afterwards, Dexter Lumis came out with a strap. Cameron Grimes then ran away. We then had Lumis pointing at the screen, and it played a compilation of Grimes running away and screaming at the hands of Dexter Lumis. So they replayed the match from Halloween Havoc. They replayed the blindfold match. And then afterwards, in the back, Grimes walked up to Regal, and Regal made a strap match for TakeOver War Games. So it's going to be Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes in a strap match. Although I don't understand why this match is even happening. Realistically, this match should have ended. This whole entire feud should have ended all the way back at Halloween Havoc. There's really no reason for the feud to continue. It's really overbearing. It really feels like they're just beating this feud to fucking death because they legitimately have nothing else for these two guys. And I don't understand that. I really don't. But we get the strap match at TakeOver War Games. So Rhea Ripley was in the ring. She praised EO. And she says that everyone was speculating on what is next for Rhea Ripley. She was interrupted by Candice and Tony. Candice says EO stole 2 victories from her, but she beat Rhea on her own. So Candice says that she talks the talk and she walks the walk. Raquel Gonzalez then came out carrying Io Shirai, who was unconscious. And then Candice's team then swarmed Rhea and sent her into the post and imposed their will on Rhea Ripley. So it looks like Shotzi Blackheart's team will be Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai, which I don't mind whatsoever. I think that's a great Women's War Games team. I think we're going to get a great Women's War Games match. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So, this was actually pretty interesting. We had Boa and Xia Li being taken away in a car to an undisclosed location. Now, they looked horrible. They look completely disheveled. They look like they haven't slept in like 3-4 days. And there was this elderly Chinese man. This elderly Chinese man was around a fire. And there was another person there, and Boa and Xia Li, they were apologizing, saying they were sorry. Please give us another chance. We'll win, we'll win, we'll win. So the Chinese man said enough, and then he marked a weird like almost a biblical Chinese symbol on their hand. And then that was it. Now, originally, I didn't give a shit, but this was actually pretty... It almost looked like a classic Chinese horror movie. I don't really know what they were going for here, but it actually looked pretty cool. It looked like an old classic Chinese horror movie, and I'm actually intrigued. You have my attention. You have my attention, Triple H. Where are you going with this? So, we then had Everrise was in the ring getting ready for a tag team match, and then out of nowhere, the grizzled young veterans, yes, the grizzled young veterans attack. Yes, indeed, they are back. My lord, how I've missed the grizzled young veterans. So, we had Zach Gibson doing his intro, and I'm going to attempt to do his intro, so bear with me. I'm going to attempt to do Zach Gibson's intro. So Zach Gibson goes, I am Liverpool's #1 Zach Gibson. This man right here, James Drake. And together we are grizzled young veterans. And we are back soon to be recognized as NXT's #1. My lord, I love that intro. I fucking love Zach Gibson. Zach Gibson is a fucking gem. My lord, how I love him. Then we had the Ticket to Mayhem by the Grizzled Young Veterans to Chase Parker. Grizzled Young Veterans are going to be big. And if anything, I would absolutely love to see the Grizzled Young Veterans take the NXT Tag Team titles off of Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. I would fucking love that. I think it would be great. So there was another Ghostface, actually, with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. I don't know what's going on there, but apparently there's two Ghostface. I don't know what's going on there, but apparently Gargano and Candice have someone else working with them. And then in the main event, we had Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne in a War Games Advantage ladder match, which was fucking brutal. This is a great fucking ladder match right here. Brutal fucking spots right here. They went right after each other. Kyle was the first to bring in a ladder. Kyle was then shoved off the ladder, and he did like a ring around the rosy on the ladder, which looked brutal, and then the ladder fell on him. I swear to God, it looked like he legitimately got injured. It looked like he legitimately got injured. It did not look pretty at all. So, O'Reilly came back with an ankle hook on the ladder to Dunne's leg. We then had a powerbomb by Dunne, sending O'Reilly into the ladder. Dunne was then suplexed from the apron over the ropes, and both men crashed through the ladder, which was brutal in its own right. So, we then had a sequence where O'Reilly and Dunne were throwing the ladder back and forth in each other's faces. We then had an enziguri by Dunne and a rebound lariat by O'Reilly. Both men are down. Dunne got sent off the ladder onto another ladder. O'Reilly was climbing, but then a hooded figure shoved O'Reilly over the ropes. O'Reilly landed hard. Dunne then climbed, and Dunne won. Dunne and his team get the War Games advantage going into Sunday's pay-per-view. This is a great fucking match right here. I expect that the hooded figure was Pat McAfee. I don't understand why it wouldn't have been. But Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne absolutely killed each other. Great stuff right here. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Cannot wait to see what they do at War. I think the War Games match is going to be great. I just hate the fucking build. That's all I'm going to say. I just hate the fucking build. So, we're going to check the chat. And then we have about 2 more shows to go through. And then I'll sing that DJ Storm's original Christmas song. So Danielle feels better now because of good old Cameron Grimes. Glad that big boy Johnny's here. Thank you. I try to pride myself on a grizzled young veteran's intro. We have Infinite Phoenix Gaming saying, definitely, yes, I try. I try to make sure that intro's great. Stop damning! Here's what you can do. I want you to share the stream out to everyone possible because we are just 4 likes away from reaching 20 likes. We need to reach 20 likes before the stream is over. And we got about like 45 minutes before the stream is over. Thank you very much, Phoenix. Please share the stream out. Get more people in here. Thank you very much, big boy Johnny. Let's see. Let me find you and let me There we go. Hang on a minute. There we go. Did you share it out? I don't think you did. You better be sharing it out, man. Anyway. Thank you very much, Danielle. We need to get to 100 members. We're close. We're close to 100 members on the DJ Storms Posse page. It's very, very close. It's very, very close. Trust me on that. You're very, very close. So, NXT, good show, but I just can't help but feel that the build aspect, the storyline build aspect to NXT, the quality has just gone down. And I really hate to say that, but I don't know. That's what I've felt for the longest time now. So, NXT UK, however, NXT UK is actually doing NXT better than NXT is doing NXT. NXT UK was great. NXT UK was awesome. So we had Amir Jordan versus Jordan Devlin. This was for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Jordan Devlin is back. Great to see Jordan Devlin back defending the Cruiserweight title. This was a damn good match right here with Amir Jordan and Jordan Devlin. So Amir Jordan was cut down by Jordan Devlin. We had a beautiful Uranagi moonsault combination. I love that combo from Jordan Devlin. Devlin then worked on the shoulder. Amir Jordan then came back with a lariat, a big back body drop, and a suicide dive. Amir Jordan hit the rolling flatliner for a very close 2 count on Jordan Devlin. Devlin tried for the Spanish fly, but Amir Jordan with the electric chair driver for a very close 2 count. We then had the Bomb IA bomb, but Jordan Devlin was on the receiving end of, or Jordan Devlin got his knees up, excuse me. Amir Jordan was on the receiving end of Jordan Devlin's knees to the back. Devlin then locked in the cloverleaf, and Jordan Devlin forces Amir Jordan to tap out. Damn good match here between Jordan Devlin and Amir Jordan for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Cannot wait to see what Jordan Devlin does in the future. We had Noam Dar saying that Supernova 11 sessions are coming soon, although I do not need another WWE-inspired talk show. Webster and Andrews actually attacked the Hunt in the NXT UK PC, so that should be an interesting match next week. We got that tag team match next week. We also got Alexander Wolf and Joe Coffey next week, with both Gallus and Imperium banned from ringside, so that should be a very good match right there. NXT UK is doing some good stuff. It really is. We had Isla Dawn versus Ginny. This match only went about 6 minutes, but man, it was actually a very good women's match for only 6 minutes. So Dawn came out aggressive. Ginny caught her with a rolling heel kick. Ginny then kept the pressure on Isla Dawn. Isla Dawn came back with some stiff kicks, some running kicks to the face, a running knee to the face, almost like a V-trigger, and then a Meteora. Then she hit the backdrop driver for a 2. Ginny then hit a leg trip onto the knee, and then Isla Dawn came back with a tarantula. Ginny with a wheel kick, and then she locked in an arm trap STF on Isla Dawn, and Isla Dawn taps out Ginny, gets the win over Isla Dawn. Ginny is doing some good stuff. Very interested to see where Ginny goes if she is an interim opponent for Kaylee Ray before Kaylee Ray eventually drops that title to Eva Valkyrie. Trent Seven versus A-Kid. This was the NXT UK Heritage Cup Tournament Finals. Now, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I fucking hate. I really do. I absolutely fucking hate the British round system. I hate what they're doing there. I do not like the format, but this match was actually a great fucking match. They actually played up the round systems very, very well. Trent Seven and A-Kid actually worked very, very well together in this one, and they put on a very, very good match. This was excellently booked right here. So we had a very technical start, and it was like every fucking round has a technical fucking start. Another technical second round, lots of submissions. Very boring start. A very boring start, to be quite honest. A-Kid came out fighting in the third round. He started hitting hard with some kicks and chops. We had a backhand shot by Seven, but A-Kid eventually got the first fall with a leaping super kick. So A-Kid gets the first fall, and then A-Kid kept the pressure on Seven in the fourth round. He wrenched on the arm of Seven with a powerbomb to break it up, and then the fourth round ended. Seven, then with a swift DDT in the fifth round for a 2. Seven then with a back superplex, but it was countered by A-Kid. A-Kid made the cover, but Trent Seven was saved by the bell. Trent Seven this close to being pinned, but the ref had to stop because the round was over. Sixth round began. We then had the Emerald Frozen for a 2. Trent Seven, then with the 7 Stars Lariat, but A-Kid kicked out. We then had a Birmingham Hammer, but A-Kid got his foot underneath the bottom rope. A-Kid was then rolled up by Trent Seven, and Trent Seven got his first fall. The second fall went to Trent Seven. Now we were in sudden death, and this was when things started to get really good. No time limit. They were hitting hard again. Trent Seven with another Emerald Frozen onto the floor, off the apron, which looked fucking brutal. I love this right here. Super kick connected by A-Kid. A-Kid then reversed the submission hold into a modified Fujiwara armbar, and he was extending on the arm. He was bending the arms all the way back. Trent Seven would not give up. A-Kid wrenched on the arm even further. Looked like he was going to dislocate his shoulder. Trent Seven had no choice. Trent Seven verbally gives up. Trent Seven says, "I quit." And A-Kid wins the UK Heritage Cup. And then afterwards, Trent Seven gave A-Kid the cup. Brilliantly booked match. Correct winner. A-Kid is doing some great stuff, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for A-Kid. A-Kid is made into a fucking star. This is what they were waiting for. A-Kid, this was the moment that A-Kid was hoping for, and A-Kid came out victorious. Brilliantly booked, great fucking match, great fucking episode of NXT UK. And now we move on to SmackDown, which was terrible outside of a few things. You know, when I get home, I hope they still have some of that sausage stuff. When I get home, I'm having some Thanksgiving leftovers. I don't give a shit. I'm having some sausage stuffing. I'm having some honey glazed ham. I'm having, maybe I'll have some turkey. Maybe a turkey sandwich. Maybe I'll have some of that, what else we got? There's a lot of good Thanksgiving leftovers. Trust me on that. Careful, Danielle. No puking on the stream. No puking on the stream. So SmackDown was horrible. So Jey Uso kicked off the show. He says that everyone should be talking about how the big dog represented. Drew beat Orton and Lesnar, but he did not beat my cousin. So Roman came out and they they showed the replay of what happened at Survivor Series, right? Roman says, I told you to leave, but you didn't. I never said I needed your help. He says, your team didn't listen to you because they don't fear you, which means they don't respect you, which means they don't respect us. If I ain't the head of the table to these people, then I'm just some bitch begging for Thanksgiving leftovers. Is that how you see me? Because that's how you're making me feel through your failures. And I don't like how you're making me feel. So then Roman left. Otis then came out. He was set for a match with King Corbin. Jay walked by him. Jay then ran out with a chair and started attacking Otis. He continuously beat down Otis going into commercial. Now, I did not know what this was going to result in, but apparently throughout the night it resulted in Jay going on a crusade. Jay was going on a crusade to make people fear him and respect him because of Roman. So thank God we didn't get Corbin versus Otis. Thank Christ. Jay became a big baby face right there. So we got Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode coming out, and they mocked Otis. Ziggler said that they're a couple of aces, laser focused on you, Street Profits. So the Street Profits come out. Ford mocked Ziggler for being an HBK ripoff. Blah blah blah. We get the match, and Roode and Ziggler, they get the win here with Robert Roode getting a roll up on Ford with the tights. And Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler pin the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. I don't fucking get it. You have Dominic and Rey, and then you have Cesaro and Nakamura on the show. Why do you have these teams on the show if you're not going to use them? Why do you have these teams on the show if you're not going to put them out on television in these types of roles? Why not have Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler beat someone like Cesaro and Nakamura or Rey and Dominic Mysterio? They can gain wins, and then they can get a title shot at TLC. Or is that too logical for you, Vince McMahon? Is that too logical for you? Does that make too much sense? Enough! Enough with the beat the champions, get a title shot maneuver. It does not do anyone favors. This company never fucking learns. Put Rey and Dominic out there. What is so hard? I really don't understand. I really don't understand. I don't. And this wasn't the only time. This really wasn't the only time. So, they played Metallica on a video package again for the Undertaker's career high. We've seen it already. Just let Undertaker retire. Just let him retire. So Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. This was undoubtedly the best thing on the show. This is a great fucking match right here between Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. So Sami Zayn ragged on Thanksgiving and how it disrespects the Native Americans. If anything, you should know that the Pilgrims celebrated Thanksgiving with the Native Americans. Says that Thanksgiving disrespected the Native Americans. He says that everyone is trying to sabotage the champion of the people. Sami Zayn, let me tell you, Sami Zayn is a fucking retard. I'm sorry. Sami Zayn is a libtard, if I've ever... His liberalism, he needs to keep his liberalism off of television. He really does. I absolutely fucking hate it. He's a gem on television, but he really needs to keep his fucking mouth shut. He really does. He comes off like a complete fucking idiot. He is. Great on television. He's an idiot as a person. I'm sorry. So Bryan came out. Bryan was in control early. Bryan then went crashing into the barricade as Zayn sidestepped him. We then had Zayn taking over control. Bryan mounted a comeback with a big flying lariat. Bryan then with a drop kick and a Frankensteiner from the top for a 2. Bryan then was sent into the post. And then Sami Zayn with a beautiful brainbuster on the apron. Looked fucking brutal. He rolled Bryan back into the ring and hit a Blue Thunder Bomb for a 2. Bryan locked in the yes lock, but Zayn made it to the ropes. We had 2 suicide dives by Daniel Bryan on Sami Zayn. Zayn then ran away, and Bryan followed. Zayn then ended up making it back into the ring before the count of 10. And Sami Zayn defeats Daniel Bryan via countout. Cameras were in the back showing Jay beating down Bryan. And then Owens came to Bryan's aid. Jay says, "You know where to find me, KO." And KO went after Jay, going into commercial. Listen, this is a great match, don't get me wrong, but Jesus Christ. WWE, they're so fucking inconsistent. They're so fucking inconsistent. I don't get it. 1 minute, Sami Zayn is being booked like a chicken shit with no credibility whatsoever. Then the next minute, he's putting on a great match and he looks like a fucking genius. There's no consistency. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to get behind Sami Zayn? Which a lot of people want to get behind Sami Zayn, but are we supposed to get behind Sami Zayn? Or are we supposed to roll our eyes at Sami Zayn? There needs to be a little bit of consistency here. I don't understand. There needs to be a certain level of consistency here. I don't understand what the big deal is. Book him like a legitimate champion. It's not that fucking hard. It's not. So, we had Jay and Owens and Roman in a backstage segment where Owens went up to Roman and he says, "Look, SmackDown ain't your personal playground. And for someone who says family first, you sure do treat yours like trash." So he looked at Jay and says, "He doesn't look at me with fear. Fix that." So obviously the crusade from Jey Uso was not done throughout the night. We had Bianca Belair versus Natalya. Bayley came out to watch the match. We had Natalya with a discus lariat. Natalya then was on the receiving end of a glam slam out of the ring. Belair accidentally struck Bayley. Belair sent Natalya into Bayley again off of a roll-up. And then Natalya actually got rolled up by Belair for a win. And Belair and Bayley had a stare down. This is exactly what they should be doing. This is exactly what they should be doing with Bianca Belair. Continue to build up her momentum. Even though you fucked up at Survivor Series, even though you fucked up big time, continue to build her momentum going into the Royal Rumble. A match with Bayley at TLC. I would love to see that. That actually sounds very intriguing. Match with Bayley and Bianca at TLC actually sounds like a very good idea. That would be a very nice bridge to get Bianca into the Rumble, which she'll eventually win, and then she'll get the match with Sasha at WrestleMania. So we had Murphy versus Baron Corbin. This was a complete waste of fucking time. Also, why are the baby faces helping another babyface cheat to win? We had the baby faces helping Baron Corbin, getting in his face, blocking him, jumping up on the apron. Corbin's foot was on the rope, and then Dominic shoved it off of the rope as Murphy got the win. Corbin then took the mic, and he complained about it being 4-on-1. Corbin says he wants a rematch next week, and he'll be prepared next. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Waste of time. I don't understand why we needed to even have this match if this is what you were going to do. Also, Murphy, he beat Seth Rollins clean last week, but he needs help against Corbin. Not a very good look. Not a very good look at all. So, Big E and Sami Zayn had a confrontation. He says, "Your house has no foundation. It's a house of cards." So Sami Zayn says, "You should be applauding me." So Big E shakes Sami's hand and then squeezes his hand for about 10 seconds. So Sami Zayn obviously not happy about this. Big E, he hasn't been used in anything but backstage segments since the draft. I don't understand. He hasn't been used in anything but backstage segments since the draft. You really have nothing better for Big E to do. Now, realistically, a match with Sami Zayn does sound intriguing, and I would actually like to see that. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. But, fucking Christ, at least give him a few more wins. I really don't understand. What is so complex about putting people out there in matches and having them win matches in order to get a tag team title opportunity? I don't understand what's so complex about that. No matter where you turn, no matter where you look, no challenger for any championship is credible. I don't get it. So Carmella was interviewed. She was interviewed saying that she did what the fans wanted. Now she's not doing anything for them anymore. Sasha Banks ended up attacking her and putting her in the bank statement, and that was it. Carmella doesn't belong anywhere near the same ring as Sasha Banks. She doesn't belong anywhere near the same room as Sasha Banks. I don't give a shit if Sasha Banks is going to lead her to a great match. In no way, shape, or form does Carmella deserve a title opportunity. Then in the main event, we had Jey Uso and Kevin Owens. They both came out fighting. We had two super kicks sending Uso over the barricade. A senton off the apron by Owens. Owens mounted a comeback with some chops. We had a super kick by Jey for a 2. Owens then got the knees up on the splash. We had the pump handle neck breaker for the win. Not the win, for a 2. Uso sent Owens into the post. We had a steel chair being brought in, and Jey beat down Owens mercilessly with the chair. Owens then came back with a stunner. He used the chair against Uso and says that, "Are you watching, Roman? Because you want people to fear you. Well, I fear no one, including you." Roman was watching on the monitor, and he says that, "You got a problem with me? Say it to my face." And then we had a second stunner to Jey Uso as he sat at the head of the announce table. Owens, I would say, is the perfect interim opponent, and I actually don't mind this, but they literally have no one else for Roman Reigns to challenge. So it seems as though we're going to get Owens and Roman at TLC, which I would not mind. I actually think it's an excellent idea. SmackDown was utterly fucking boring outside of the crusade from Jey Uso and the match between Zayn and Bryan, and that was that. That wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Does anyone want to hear me sing an original DJ Storms Christmas song? Does anyone want me to? Or do you want to just get out of here and relax? I'll leave the decision up to you. Tell me, let me know in the chat right now if anyone wants to hear me sing an original DJ Storms Christmas song, or do you want to just relax? So Danielle voted yes. Danielle voted yes. Do I have any other votes? Do I have any other votes? No votes? Are you sure? Looks like I'm going to go off of Danielle. Looks like I'm going to go off of Danielle. All right. Who's ready? Who's ready for it? So, I call this song Hark the Posse Members Sing. Me. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Hark the posse members sing, glory to DJ the King. Chaos and anarchy galore, you won't prove me wrong, I'm sure. Take a knee, you imbeciles, my star glows and shines for miles when the IWC proclaims the Antichrist is born in New Jersey. Hark the posse members sing, glory to DJ the King. Ha ha ha! Woo! Now that's the way to end the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description, which I will post after the stream is over. And of course, next Friday will be the rundown for TakeOver War Games 2020. I'm not revealing my guests until later, so keep it quiet. Keep it quiet and keep it patient. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Thank you very much for spending your Saturday with me, and I will catch you guys later.